Hello, everyone. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you. As you grow at the Golden Boot, so do our needs, but we cannot do it without you. We ask that you continue to like our posts, share our content, and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. You may also visit thegoldenboot.com for the latest merch. If you would like to make a financial donation, you can do so through Cash App at #GoldenBoot or through PayPal at paypal.me/goldenboot. We look forward to bringing you more laughs, knowledge, and entertainment. And again, thank you for your endless support. Sincerely and respectfully, the Golden Boot team.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. Got my man Ant, Patty Murphy in the building. What's good?
What's happening?
Now, I'm trying to see if we're gonna storm this court, man. Big upset win.
So pathetic, man. It's pathetic.
It's pathetic, man. Listen, man,
it's pathetic.
Listen.
Pathetic.
It's a big win.
It's pathetic.
It's a big win.
The fact that this is a big win is pathetic.
Vandy was a hot team, man. I do want to say, like it realistically in perspective, talent wise, we should have been in most games we've played this season.
I ain't letting you do this, Pooh.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. This wasn't where we need to be, where we want to be, but I think this is at least, all things said and done, it's a nice win, man. It's a good win for him.
I mean, yeah, but nah, bro. It's sad. It's sad whenever we celebrating and praising and praying for wins over Vandy. I'm sorry, but it's a sad day.
Yeah. This is what I get for betting against us. Anyway, but it's been a good, it's been a good weekend, man. Been a good week so far. We talked about on Sunday how the baseball team did, how they fared. We look here. There was my bad. I was looking at I'm trying to see if I get this minus 7.5. But we had a game against Southern on Tuesday that a lot of fans thought was going to be a cakewalk. But as we both know, I'm just saying, a lot of fans thought it was going to be a cakewalk. They thought it was going to come in.
I mean, but in a sense, I think it ended how fans thought it would.
It ended that way, but it definitely didn't start that way.
That's true.
We have to, and I put out a tweet out there and just said that, hey, a lot of LSU fans are going to look at this and maybe even slightly panic. But this game, Southern, this team is a damn good team, baseball team. Southern is annually one of the toughest teams out of the SWAC. It's a tough team, period, for especially schools that are considered lower level, or I don't know what to call it in baseball. It ain't mid-major, but you get what I'm saying. And I think that the way this team that Southern played and the way LSU battled back to get back in the lead, I think that says a lot about LSU more than it does anything negative.
I mean, I don't think Southern getting out to a 4-0 lead was as big of a deal as people made it out to be.
Oh yeah, the panic was
Um,
melt was epic.
I mean, and it wasn't just LSU fans. You had
Yeah.
some college baseball counts and stuff tweeting out videos of the run scoring to make it a 4-0 game. Like, I think it was a lot of overreaction from both sides about that. But I agree, Southern a good team, better than a lot of people thought they were. But I still feel like LSU flexed their muscle and showed why they are the number one team in the country.
Right. Now, with that said, on this past weekend, young Tre Morgan did not necessarily have the best weekend. It looked like I'm not. It was one weekend series, so I'm not gonna say he was in a slump, but he didn't have his best game. But on Tuesday, Tre Morgan hit for a natural cycle.
Just shows you not to overreact too soon. I mean, he hit for a cycle in order, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
natural.
8 RBI. Yeah, 8 RBIs on that, man. That's a nice trip to the ballpark there, man. So yeah, it's good to see Trey get out of his slump.
Yeah.
But it's too early in the season for anybody to be in the slump or be overreacting to anything.
Big facts. Shout out to our guy, Mike in the building. What's good, Mike? He said, I was shocked, my friend. I had to refresh my phone to see if it was glitching. Yeah. It's, but LSU did, you know what I'm saying, get their feet up under them, stop playing with their food, and went on to win. Actually, I'll just put it like this. They scored 18 unanswered.
Yeah, 18-4.
Yeah, so
a lot easier time than some other teams.
Yeah. Speaking of that, as LSU goes into the weekend, getting ready to go to the Round Rock Classic, with high hopes. There's a lot of SEC teams that can't say the same. They also struggled midweek, and some even lost. Yeah. Vandy up there. Go ahead.
No, yeah. No, I give you the Vandy one. Vandy lost. I don't remember who they lost to.
Central Arkansas, if I'm not
Central Arkansas, yeah. And Mississippi State lost to ULM yesterday. They got their lick back today though. They won 14-3 today. But Grambling took Arkansas to extra innings and ended up losing, I think 8-7, 9-7, something like that.
9-7, yeah.
9-7 and 8 and 8 innings. So I mean, yeah, it's some change that struck. Tennessee over the weekend has struck. I know yesterday they kind of got out their slump. And
yeah, they beat up on Alabama A&M, man. I ain't like that.
Yeah.
10-0.
But it's been yesterday and today they beat up on A&M. But it's been some teams kind of struggling out of that. Right now, Florida's losing to South Florida 10-9 in the bottom of the ninth. So, you know, there's some teams in the SEC kind of starting out slow out the gates.
Yeah, it was the Tennessee. I ain't like that. Hold up, I ain't with that. Devil trying to get his lick back. Yeah, I ain't. That was dirty. The way they whooped up on them.
They did us today. They got their lick back on ULM 14-3.
Right. I'm just looking here. I'm trying to see some of these scores from yesterday. Alabama barely escaped Tennessee Tech 7-4. Kentucky 6-3 over Evansville. So it's a lot of close games in this midweek.
Florida ended up losing. Vandy won today 13-1 over UAB in 7. And my God, Tennessee, what they did to Alabama A&M today is so sad. Yeah. 23-1.
I hope they catch a cramp in their foot. But but yeah, man. But I'll tell you who rolling.
Who that?
Beth Torino, man. I guess she's heard all the clamoring on Twitter. She's seen all the messages. And Beth Torino has got the Lady Softball Tigers off to a wonderful start. They are undefeated, and with some very impressive wins. They've even had a nice comeback win last. I think it was last
Yeah,
week,
last.
last weekend over Utah.
I mean, last night they had a tough win over Louisiana Tech on the road. They up here on their little 318 tour. They played Louisiana Tech last night, pulled out a close one, and then right now they playing ULM at ULM, and they up 7-3 on them right now. So they keeping that thing rolling, but they kind of taking they're taking it on the tour of the state real quick. Handing out a few L's up here in the 318. But yeah, they off and they've been winning in different ways, man. They've been winning, kind of blowout games. They've been winning close games. So they kind of shown that they can do it in a multitude of different ways.
Yeah. All right, before we shift gears, man, I want to shout out to, all our good friends in the chat. We shouted out me at Mike, man. Thank again, me at appreciate you for coming through. I call him me at like his name ain't Mike. But Mike, appreciate you coming through, even on none. Hey, tomorrow night, y'all want to catch it too. I'm gonna go ahead and plug. I'm gonna keep plugging that. That's gonna be a big one. Chuck, so he checking in from Monroe. Good evening. On this Ash Wednesday. Chuck got them ashes on his forehead. Chuck got the little cross on his forehead, looking like like the mine churn. You know how them churn they be coming out the mine. Anyway, Roderick, what's good, Roderick? How you doing this evening? Josh, what's good, my boy? As we always say, appreciate y'all for tuning in. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate it. Appreciate all the love. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share. Tell all your friends. If you got a comment, you got a question, make sure you please drop them in the chat. Stay interactive, man. Let's get through this one. Let's talk about this. I do want to talk about today our Black History Month figure of the day. First of all, happy Black History Month. We're slowly winding down to the end of Black History Month, but don't worry, we're gonna do Black History 365. So may not put up the graphics and stuff, but we, we'll still drop that history for you. But today it was Simone Manuel. I remember this too. She was the first Black American woman to win an individual Olympic swimming medal. And I in Rio, I'll never forget it. When she popped up out of that water and saw she had won, the look on her face and stuff, man, epic, man. It was very inspiring. But she continues to do great things and stuff. Look forward to seeing her again in the Olympics and seeing all the young ladies that she inspires to come through and compete as well. So,
yep. That was a crazy Olympics, man.
Yeah, that was when
Ryan Lochte.
Yeah, man, went up in that gas station acting a fool and got caught up and then made up a horrible lie.
He was Jesse Smollett before Jesse Smollett.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there right now. I'm not even going there with you. Mr. Tobias said LSU men finally win one. They did. We opened up with that. It's a huge win for the program, man.
My time. Sad, man. Sad. That's not a huge win. We're not finna do that.
I was just saying to piss you off.
We're not doing that. It's not a huge win.
It's a great win.
We didn't beat a ranked team. We didn't put it wasn't that. It was an SEC conference win. That's what it was. Was nothing huge about it.
It's a big win, big conference win. But you know what? I do want to say the last time, since a lot of people bring up Will Wade, when I just want to throw this out there. So when LSU was on there, you know what I'm saying, they was on the kind of hot streak, and Vandy was in the
time when Saban Lee and them killed us.
I was at the game.
When Saban Lee and Scottie Pippen Jr. and what was that other little was it wasn't Darius Garland. It was they had another little guard, man. They had three little guards.
Was it Nesbitt?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, they had three guards who was killing us, man.
I know. I was at the game. They could not miss a shot.
Vandy State beating us under Will Wade, though. They beat us a few times under Will Wade.
We never under Will Wade. LSU never beat them in Nashville.
Yep. Never. I didn't think so. Yeah, I know we always had trouble with them.
Yeah. So But let's move on to football though, man. So, hey, I just want to put it out there. Hey, two of the coaches, all y'all who out there who know special teams can do so well, but get your applications together. Go ahead, clip them Madden clips together. Throw them, throw them on the thumb drive and holler at you need to holler at Scott Woodward and Brian Kelly, because Brian Polian is stepping away from the field and assumes a new role in the outfield position as was virtually a GM.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good for Polian. He's got a track record of being average. I'll try to be nice about it.
Mm-hmm.
Of being average as a special teams coach.
Yeah.
So I feel like let him do what he does best, and the roster building part of it, and roster management and determining needs and how to address needs and things of that nature. I let him stick to doing that, and let a more specialized coach in special teams handle that aspect of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean,
Greg McMahon, where you at?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started, man. If we can get G-Mac. I said when Brian Kelly came in, I said Greg McMahon was one of the coaches I thought we should have kept. Just simply because we may have had some issues under him, but for the most part, man, the kicking game was shored up as far as field goal kickers.
The return game wasn't bad. The problem was we didn't use the right people. Stingley should have never been a punt returner, man. Whenever you got somebody like Tre Palmer on the roster. I'm just saying, like, Stingley, not saying he wasn't explosive, but it was obvious that he wasn't trying to return everyone back to the house. You know what I mean?
I think that was more on coaching.
Oh, definitely.
Because after that Auburn game, they stopped letting him return punts. When he muffed the punt against Auburn, they stopped letting him. But every time Tre went, because it was when Sting was out and Tre was back there, they just let him do it. And it was, but when Sting was back there, it was just like catch it.
Well, I think part of that was Stingley too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I think part of it was Stingley kind of making business decisions to where I get hit if I ain't really got to. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just I'm not knocking McMahon specifically or fully for this, I'm not saying didn't have a part or what the case may be, but there was aspects of our special teams that could have been better. But for the most part, McMahon had our special teams better than they've been for a while.
Yes. I remember when people got mad. Why are we getting a kicker for 1 year in the transfer portal? You know what I'm saying? Why are we doing that? Cole Tracer, and he won you games.
Yep.
So
you got to the point from whenever they were saying, why are we getting this kicker from 1 year? So why ain't the Saints drafting this kicker? Cole Tracer, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so it's crazy. But hey, it comes, with the territory. But I do think Brian Polian is like you said, in a great position. He'll be over recruiting, NIL, and I forget there's one more area, but I think that'll serve him well. Don't think this special team position to be open soon. I mean, be open for a long time. I think they got a plan in place.
Most likely.
Yeah. Did you see this week On 3 named JD5 as the best SEC quarterback?
I did. Did you see the reaction to that news?
I didn't see it. I can imagine. I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, there was quite a few people who were saying that all of a sudden On 3 is not a reputable football site. You know what I mean, and things of that nature. But I mean, if you look at it, I mean, who's returning that you would put above him? Returning, that's the key word. Like,
first of all, who's returning with experience? Period. You got Spencer Rattler. Jackson Dart, who may not even be the starter.
KJ Jefferson.
KJ Jefferson.
Whoever that is in Texas A&M.
Yeah, Weidman, or actually,
or William or Haynes King, whichever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Or Max Johnson.
Or yeah, Mizzou, Basilak or whatever his name.
Basilak left. He left. He wasn't there last year.
Oh, not Basilak. What's your boy name? I forgot that dude. I think he was a grad too.
What's good is my boy be stuck in the building. He said, what's on here? One time for the durable shirts. That's a story. I'm gonna tell you. So you already know I stay with a good story. So me and this guy here. I'm gonna say guy. I'm gonna say it like this. This fool, we go in the I think it was like Belks or one department store, and he was looking at the polo shirts and stuff and talking to the lady, and she was like, "Oh, you like these shirts? These shirts are really durable. Like durable, like you can play football in it."
That's that boy's crazy. Man.
Hey man, that's my dude, man. But what's good stuff, man? Appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, crazy. But no, I mean honestly, like if you look at the quarterbacks, I mean obviously Kentucky has a transfer quarterback, Devin Leary, from NC State, who was a big disappointment this year.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah, very disappointed. Ole Miss has Oklahoma State transfer. So
yeah, that's why I said yeah. Spencer Sanders,
but he's coming off an injury, and he was disappointing this year.
He might not be the starter.
Exactly. So
I get it.
Who you putting over? I mean, so
KJ Jefferson is the only person who I could possibly see.
If you read the article, and I know that's what a lot of people are that stopped a lot of people right there from finishing.
I forgot about that. Sam Wilson, Milton, Joe Milton.
Milton ain't been a full-time starter for a season.
That's true too. That is, but that's somebody.
But he got talent, but he ain't been a full-time starter. But if you read the article, it's saying that they're taking in a whole bunch of things into account, not just talent and stuff.
I'm against productivity.
Productivity over your career and things of that nature. That's why somebody like Milton won't be that high, or a freshman won't be that high, like Nico or someone like that is not going to be that high on this list. But it had Jaden Daniels as number 7 quarterback in the country, KJ Jefferson right behind him at 8, and I think Devin Leary at 10. Oh no, I take it. Yeah. Devin Leary was outside the list, like 11, something like that. But KJ Jefferson and Devin Leary right there along that line. So, he up there with JJ McCarthy from Michigan, Caleb Williams, Drake May. You know what I'm saying? Quarterbacks along that kind of line. So I mean, I think if you look at it that way, I don't think it's that big of a, it's not that bold of a statement. You know what I mean? When you look at who's returning,
you got to think about it. JD5 had near 4,000 yards of offense last year. Well, I know mid 3,000 at least. I want to say it was like 3,700.
It was like 37.
Yeah, 3,700. So that's a lot.
3,800, somewhere around in there. But yeah, I think if you look at it like this too, no, they're not saying that he was the best quarterback last season.
Right.
It's a projection going into next season. And I think that's where the misconception comes from, because people think it's like that gray period where some people are still putting out stats and advanced metrics and stuff from the previous season and like part of the draft process, stuff like that. And then there's other people who are already projecting strictly for next season college football. So I think the fans are kind of in that gray area where some of the stuff they see is about last year, some of the stuff they see is about next year, and they don't know which one's which without reading the article, and so they just see the headline, Jaden Daniels, the best quarterback in the SEC, and they think
which is clickbait,
but in a way it's not, because that's what they're saying.
I get it. Yeah.
But so they don't read the article, and they think that and that's not really on the people who wrote the article. That's on you for, presuming things without reading. So I think that it's not really a bold take whenever you take the context of what they're saying.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to something a little bit more serious. Malik Neighbors was arrested. Was it Monday night, Tuesday, something like that? It was around Mardi Gras. He was arrested for illegal possession of a firearm.
It was Monday night, Tuesday.
Monday night, yeah. So, today the charges have been dropped. Basically pending the condition that the police do not return the firearm to him. So, and you brought up something earlier. So I originally said, because I didn't know, because facts were I ain't gonna say facts. Statements were all over the place on exactly what happened. It was he was breaking up a fight. Police saw it and saw the pistol that way. They walked up to him, saw a object in his pocket. They were saying he legally possessed the firearm, but he didn't have a concealed carry permit. Louisiana is an open carry state, but he wasn't open carrying, so it was kind of stuff all over the place. The facts of the matter is he did possess a firearm. You brought this up. He's not old enough to legally possess
he's not old enough to legally conceal carry a firearm in Louisiana.
Okay, there you go.
So in Louisiana, you can't buy a firearm from a licensed firearm dealer with a handgun unless you're 21. Okay. That's a federal law for any licensed gun dealer. However, if there is no federal law. I mean, there's no Louisiana law saying you have to be 21 to buy a handgun from another private citizen or from like a gun show type situation like that. So therefore, he could have legally purchased, because he's over the age of 18, he could have legally purchased a firearm, a handgun. However, he's not allowed to legally conceal or open carry that firearm because he's not of the age of 21.
Correct. One thing, you saw mixed reactions. This is stupid. He's throwing away his life. All right,
let me ask you this: if you was in New Orleans, would you not have a gun on you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's in the world we live in. It's not safe to not have a gun in church.
I mean, that's a true fact. I go everywhere I go with a gun. So I mean, you can call me what you want, but I'd rather get caught with it than without it.
Yeah, if you are a responsible adult,
we're living in today.
Yeah, if you are a responsible adult or a responsible citizen, I see no reason why you should not be allowed to carry a firearm on you.
As long as you go about purchasing it and obtaining it in the legal ways and stuff like that, and you are legally able to carry a firearm, I think everyone should. Honestly,
there are some places I don't think you should have one, but at the same time, we've seen and it's sad to say.
That's not okay.
But y'all know what I mean.
I'll just say this. I'm not gonna say he was throwing his life away.
Oh no,
because he was carrying a gun in the woods. Now you can make the argument that him going somewhere where he needed to carry a gun is the real issue, and I would be more understanding of that.
I would ask you. Well,
I'm saying because him going to Mardi Gras, I can see people saying he shouldn't be going to Mardi Gras. It's dangerous, and you know what I'm saying. You never know, he could put himself in a dangerous situation. I would be more understanding to those people than to the people saying he shouldn't have a gun on him, because I feel like no matter where he goes, he should probably have a gun on him in this day and age. So I'm not going to be sympathetic to those people, but I will be more understanding to the people who are saying, why go put yourself in that situation, knowing that you're probably going to have to carry a gun going into that situation. And I understand that sentiment. I don't agree. I feel like he's a 19-year-old young man. He should be able to go have fun if he wants to. And if he has to carry a gun to do that, I mean, it's the world we live in. He got to carry a gun to go get gas. I mean,
go to the grocery store. I don't want to, because
it's a gray area. We're not trying to get political, and I'm not talking about whether or not he should be able to own the right gun, nothing along them kind of lines. All I'm saying is he should be able to go have fun if he wants to, and if he has to carry a gun to do that, that should be okay too.
Now this sitting on the docket, but I did talk about Chargers drop. Some people have said, BK is probably going to punish him, run him, and stuff like that. I'm of a different ilk. I had to use that word for tonight. I think that this is more of a learning experience. I think you can teach talk to the team more about it, about being more responsible and like gun ownership and stuff like that. If you're going to possess a firearm,
I can see both ways. I mean, they don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Oh, yeah, okay. When I say punishment, I'm not talking about like, hey, you got, rest, we're gonna, run some laps, so I ain't talking about that, but I'm talking about, Coach Carter, you gotta give me 10,000 laps before you can get back on the team, push-ups.
I think they're gonna probably run them a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Or something like that, nothing major, and he ain't gonna get suspended for no games or nothing. But I do think they use it as a sit down, and I mean, you gotta look at it like this too. You have a young team full of young black men who are in a world where it could be life or death for them if they're in the wrong situation with a gun. So I mean, I think that's another situation where you definitely have to take a look at, using this as a learning. As an example, a learning lesson, pretty much, not just for him but for everyone.
Right. USFL is another one of those alternate football leagues, springtime football leagues that I love. I'm looking forward to when it returns. I'm looking forward to this weekend as well, the XFL games. But currently speaking, they just had their draft. Is it over? Is it still ongoing?
I think it's over.
Okay. Number 2 overall selection was one young Lindsay. Well, I don't know if I can say young. That man
might be like 26.
That man got, AARP. But Lindsay Scott selected number 2 overall in the USFL by the Pittsburgh Maulers. Congratulations to him. Let me see. We can get him hand clapped too.
Right. Interested to see if he takes that up though.
I agree. If I were him, I would take the opportunity. Because
with him, I would see where I get drafted in the NFL.
Who say you can't?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, when is the XFL season? I mean, USFL
April 15th.
Season. When is the NFL draft?
It's what, early April, ain't it?
It's around that same time. So, are you going to go prepare for your season, or are you going to train for the draft?
Who's to say you can't do both? Because if he's working,
you can't attend the combine and
is he invited to the combine?
I mean, you gonna have a pro day, or is your pro day gonna be in San Antonio, or is your pro day gonna be in Pittsburgh? Are you gonna be practicing in Pittsburgh and going to meet? Are you gonna be practicing in Pittsburgh and going to meeting teams in Las Vegas? And I mean, I'm just saying.
Let's be honest. Lindsay Scott played for a lot of teams. His pro day could be in Wazoo.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I get what you're saying. Meet with teams while you still practicing. I mean, how you gonna do both?
I get what you're saying. This is an interesting concept because, and we'll talk about a little bit more tomorrow. There were a lot of HBCU players that were selected as well.
Yeah, but I don't think a couple of them have. If we're comparing their chances to Lindsay Scott's chances, I think only a couple of them have a better chance of going pro than Lindsay Scott.
I think Isaiah Bolden has a better chance than going pro than Lindsay Scott.
Yeah, him and Isaiah Land, the only two.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta look at Lindsay Scott is I mean, he's still a quarterback. And right. I think his position plays a part in whether or not he's gonna get drafted. You know what I mean? Coming from a lower level and stuff like that. So why I don't think not taking anything away from those other guys, but there's those other positions are a dime a dozen compared to quarterback. So, I mean, more teams. And when you're looking at how many wide receivers get drafted, running backs get drafted, and things of that nature, there's so many more to choose from. So the odds of FCS guy getting picked are smaller. But if you're looking at quarterbacks, the odds of an FCS quarterback getting picked there's not that many quarterbacks. So I mean,
typically I would agree, but we talked about earlier on, and especially like with Jaden coming back, this class of quarterbacks is so deep and so heavy that I think
really that deep, bro.
it ain't.
It's really not. Okay. It's really not, bro. I mean, you got Hendon Hooker, or you got CJ, Bryce, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker, Tanner McKee, Jake Hayner, the BYU quarterback, DTR, Max Dugan, Stetson Bennett, and that's 11. And like
Tanner Morgan, who also got selected in the USFL.
Are you talking about the dude from Minnesota? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean 12.
Yeah, 12.
So I mean it ain't really that deep.
So and of all those people, well, I mean, I guess you got a lot. How many team? Because the way you look at it,
you probably gonna have 4 go in the first round.
I still don't. I mean, I think Lindsey Scott is deserving. Let me clarify this. I think he's deserving of a spot, of a shot. I'm not gonna say of a spot. I think he's deserving of a shot. I think he's proved a lot, especially in this past year. I honestly just don't see a team giving him that chance outside of being just coming in as an undrafted free agent and going on a practice squad or coming into a training camp and trying to take a shot that way.
I don't know if I agree with that, dog. I mean, I've seen some Garrett Grayson, Ryan Griffin. You know what I mean? Like they ain't putting up the numbers he put up. They wouldn't FCS Heisman Trophy. I can't think of the
Walter Payton Award.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't Walter. Yeah, they wouldn't win an award. You know what I'm saying? Like
I get it. I've seen Heisman Trophy winners not make it in the NFL or play in the NFL or get drafted.
Who didn't get drafted? They got drafted. They might not have panned out, but they got drafted.
I was gonna say, didn't
Troy Smith got drafted?
No.
Eric Crouch got drafted.
Okay, that's what I was thinking about. Eric Crouch. He never played though.
He switched positions, but he still got drafted.
I don't think he switched positions. They put him in it.
I mean, but
I got drafted. I just don't. Charlie Ward
went played in the NBA.
But did he get drafted?
That don't count. He went and played in the NBA. That's
why
he
didn't get drafted.
Because he went to the NBA.
But did he go to the NBA first?
Yes. He chose to go to the NBA.
Well, I'm wrong. Okay. Well, I'm wrong. I can admit it. I'm a man. All right. Speaking of the XFL, Jontre Kirkland. What a hell of a debut. Jontre jumped on the scene, had 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. But the numbers don't sound that impressive, but Jontre was electric.
Yeah, he balled out.
All over the field, man. We know, as LSU fans know, they've seen Jontre do things all over the field. Whether it be play quarterback, catch passes. I think he set a spring game record for yards. But seriously though, man, Jontre is one of those guys
quarterback in Houston if they need him.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who, saying wherever you need him, they gonna, saying he'll go and he'll make a difference, man. But he definitely, man. But he's not the only person, man. It's a lot of players, man. This XFL in this new season.
Houston got like 5 guys on their team alone. I know Glenn Logan over there, Jontre, Cam Lewis, they got like 7 guys over there.
He's so petty. He said, "Can't wait to see Bennett lace him up for the USFL."
That boy petty.
What up, Nick, man?
That boy petty. Man. He ain't lying though.
He ain't.
Him versus Max Dugan.
That's funny. But yeah, man, this XFL season, man, is gonna be it's something, man. I'm looking forward to I gotta look and see this weekend, man. I talk mess about AJ McCarron, man. I can't lay that down.
They went out there and put quarterback 1 with AJ McCarron today or yesterday. The St. Louis team did. Oh my god! So I found our boy Kia Glass.
Yeah.
New Orleans Breakers.
Right.
So we gotta find a way to get Taylor to do triple duty. And come coach the Breakers.
It come be break. Yeah.
But I wonder if it's something stopping. I wonder if it's stopping quarter. Like say Lindsey Scott. I wonder if it's something stopping him from being in like drafted by the XFL and the USFL. I know their leagues
so the XFL did their league was, and if I'm not mistaken, their league and their draft was during the middle of the college season, so that's why he couldn't get drafted.
Yeah, but like next year,
I guess technically they could. Now, actually, since he is technically a professional player, can the NFL actually draft him, or does he just sign? If he doesn't take this opportunity. Yeah, they can.
Like what's like Kevontae Turpin was a USFL player, and then the Cowboys signed him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they didn't.
But drafting him is just basically saying I have his rights. So if anybody else tried to sign him, they couldn't. Right. You know what I'm saying? So,
but it's a difference. That's what I'm saying. It's a difference.
I think technically they could draft him no matter what, because all the draft is saying is I have his rights. Like people have been drafted and never even tried to come play in the NFL before. You know what I mean? Like
same thing with baseball. I get that.
Yeah, baseball all the time.
It's different. It's kind of different. I know it's different rules for baseball, but I think like with football, if you're playing professional, because it's just for instance, your boy that went to Ohio State, Terrell Pryor. Mm-hmm. When he decided to enter the draft,
he was in the supplemental draft.
So he was in the supplemental, and it's different rules and stuff for that. So I wonder if there's if these guys, because they've been technically drafted by a professional league, if they're able to be drafted again, or if they have to go to a supplemental draft. I don't know, man. I honestly just don't know.
I don't see why they wouldn't be able to, because they haven't been drafted by the NFL. It's totally different league.
So because
people have been drafted in the NFL into the NFL from the Canadian league.
Okay. See, and so it's a precedent. I didn't know the precedent.
Yeah,
I can go with that.
But see, that's the thing. And the only reason why you draft them is because I might not want to sign you right now, and you might not want to come to the NFL right now. But if you ever decide to, I have your rights.
Okay, and that's all I was. Yeah, that's why I didn't know the precedence. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know the precedence. So, but yeah, this old vet say Jontre got a position somewhere. Awesome. Yes, he is a wide receiver for the Houston. Well, he's an athlete for the Houston Rednecks.
He's a Taysom Hill.
Yeah. Another kind of serious story. Well, I ain't gonna say kind of another serious story. Video of Alvin Kamara's the assault case or battery case, assault and battery. Video from that has been released. Showed him and I'm not gonna say him and a posse of people. It was like another running back.
He played for the Chiefs at the time, but now I think he played for someone else now.
Yeah, it was another football player in a bevy of other players assaulting a young man. And people kind of started making
same video we saw last.
Yeah, but a different angle, I guess you can say.
There are multiple angles now.
Yeah,
the first angle had been now. It just it shows us the other angle this time. But
yeah. Did this change anything, or for you at least?
Not really.
So, the only thing I said, I still don't see the lead up, because I still don't see what led to, because it's not like
they said in the report what led up to it.
No, I'm saying the video doesn't show it.
Oh, okay. So, the video don't show the altercation, but because it was said that he tried to get on the elevator, Kamara put his hand up to stop him, dude pushed Kamara, and then that's what led to all that kind of stuff. Okay. And he said something about Kamara friend, and that he would beat Kamara friend at something along them lines. And then that's what led to that. But honestly, I saw it the first time, and I thought Kamara was going to be suspended. The longer this drags on in court, I mean, because they pushed it back from September to November to
Man played
March.
the
You
whole
know what I mean?
season.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if it I don't know how severe his punishment, if anything, is going to be. Not saying that that's going to factor into whether or not he gets suspended, but Marshawn Lattimore didn't get suspended for the pistol charge he had. So you know what I mean? I don't really, and because that charge kind of got dropped. So I mean, if this, I'm not saying it's going to get dropped, but if this gets settled, play it down to a whatever community service and a fine, type deal.
Right.
I don't really know what's gonna come of it. And I'm not trying to downplay the severity of what happened, because the young man has some serious medical issues because of it, and obviously that's why the $10 million civil suit is there. But ultimately, I'm
not going to say what I want to say.
I just feel like it's unfortunate what happened, but I don't really know what's gonna come of it. And so until I see what comes of it, then I have a better. I mean, it should though. You know what I mean?
I get,
But and if that was me, I would be doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Getting a check for my medical bills and pain and suffering and whatnot. But I'm speaking as far as the the legal ramifications and the league's ramifications, punishment or whatever to be. I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna come of it. So I hold my opinion till it's fully settled.
It's all so okay.
Yeah,
that's fair enough. LaShawn McCoy. I don't know if you've seen it. He went on to Fox's Speak On, I think, Speak First or whatever. Anyway, one of them FS1 shows, sports shows, and
first
he said,
things first.
Yeah, first things first. And he made comments about Airbnb. I should have clipped it and put it on here. But basically, he was saying that Airbnb didn't call plays. No one really liked him. And this is just kind of, I'm paraphrasing here. No one really liked him. So he didn't really coach or talk to anybody much except the running backs, because he was a former running backs coach. Said that he didn't know how to really talk to players. Said he would always stay on Kelsey, and he said not just rookies, he would say fuss and cuss at Kelsey, fuss and cuss at Mahomes and other players, and that Andy Reid runs things on the offense. Said he doesn't. He said he can look at someone like a Doug Peterson or Nagy and say that what they attributed to Andy Reid's offense, but he can't say that about Airbnb. Facts or cap?
Cap. In my opinion, it's cap. I'm going to look at the source, and I'm going to take into account the fact that the person saying this was benched by Airbnb. Whenever he was trying to prove a point to certain people in the league, this sentiment was also echoed by Le'Veon Bell, who was also benched by Airbnb.
They was on the same team, wasn't it?
Yeah. And LaShawn McCoy got a ring thanks to Airbnb. But that's neither here nor there. But I also countered with the fact that Jamal Charles, who arguably is a better running back than Shady McCoy, arguably, I'm not saying he is, but he definitely has put in more. He has more stock in the Chiefs franchise.
I like that argument, but go ahead.
Yeah, but he said that the enemy coached him for 4 years, and he's learned so many things from Airbnb that they still keep in touch, and he's a great man and all that. Tyreek Hill even came out and said the same thing, or not the exact same, but echoed those kind of sentiments that Airbnb has done a lot for the offense.
Tyrann Mathieu as well
is a factor. And I was speaking to the people who were in that room with him.
Right.
So multiple people in the room have refuted that. And once you take into account that Shady is kind of a hater anyway, and the fact that he was benched by Airbnb, I'm gonna say it's cap.
Yeah. One of the last things that Shady said, which ironically that name is very fitting. One of the last things he said was, I do want him to succeed because he's a black coach, and I would love to see black coaches succeed.
But you're tearing down a black coach.
But you're tearing down a black coach. He had telltale I'm lying signs.
Of course.
If you look at like the way he, his body language was like, I'm just making up shit and just saying it. I'm just talking. I'm just gonna say stuff, and you might, it sounds believable. People gonna believe me because I played football, and that's what it sounds like. I think this is now. Are there some truth? Is there some truth in there? I'm sure. It may be some things. He probably did get on players. Travis Kelce is a player that you love to death, but I guarantee you, everybody had that player on that team that was ultra talented, do a lot of things. But you see his character when he's not playing. He is silly. You have to stay on people like that. You cuss people out like that all the time. My son is one. I have to cuss him out all the time, but I know I can rely on him if I need him.
Yeah, I mean, that happens, bro. Tom Brady done got into it with people. You know what I mean? Tom Brady done had coaches get into it with him on the sideline. So just because he's yelling at Patrick Mahomes don't mean he ain't a good. I'm just
Tom Brady got into it with them
to discredit
them Microsoft Surface tablets that told them things
anything to discredit him, man.
Yeah. I do want to say I said I have to cut him out. I don't have to cut him out all the time. I don't want to. I was using hyperbole, but y'all know what I mean though. But yeah, I hate that he did this interview and made these statements, because some people are going to jump on that, and ride that like it's fact. But I stand on the fact that, and I said it before and I'll say it again. Name me a coach that was worse off. Let me try to rephrase that. There are worse coaches. I'll put it like this. There are worse coaches that got multiple chances.
Definitely.
At either being head coach or succeeding somewhere. He was with Andy Reid for what? I don't know how many years. If he was such a bad coach and didn't contribute anything, why is he still around?
That's a great point.
So
that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point.
Andy Reid don't need yes man. Andy Reid has a heck of a coaching tree. He does not need other players jumping in. I mean, other coaches to just yes man or best buddies or whatever. No, that man, Andy Reid could literally, like, even now when he has to fill this position, he can find anybody and love to work up under him. And he'll have his picks and chooses. So why did he choose Eric Bieniemy for so long? But
yeah,
Andy Reid even said that Eric Bieniemy should be a head coach.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of having to defend why he should be a coach when there's other people who've been coordinators for 1 year getting head coaching opportunities.
Bro,
I mean, it just is. It's obviously it's why Jim Caldwell did what he did, bro. And I know it's not a topic, but that's why Jim Caldwell said he done look for head coaching opportunities because they aren't giving them to black people, man. And you can say that black people are whining or whatever, but it's just a fact, bro. That they're not giving them to qualified black men at the same rate that they're giving them to qualified white men. And actually, unqualified white men are getting them before qualified black men. It's just a fucking fact.
Hey, Josh McDaniels.
I mean, Josh McDaniels. I mean, you can. The Eagles, both of the Eagles coordinators just got hired. How long they been coordinators?
Hey, Jeff Saturday, how you doing this evening?
I mean, I'm just saying. Frank Wright got another coaching job.
What's the dude
that Allen got another coaching job?
Hey, what's the dude that was with the Dolphins and the Gase?
Yeah, Adam
Dolphins
Gase,
in the game. Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen people who like, and I know it don't really matter, but we've seen like,
Yeah, Kingsbury did. He right.
what's
You
your
know what
boy
I'm saying?
Todd Haley?
Yeah.
Todd Haley was a golfer in college. You know what I mean? But was able to become an NFL head coach before Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
And I'm not, obviously there were different time periods.
All right.
But what I'm saying is the point in their careers where they was at, Eric Bieniemy has obviously put in more work and hasn't gotten what Todd Haley was able to. So I mean, we've seen Joe Judge, we've seen all these type of people who are unqualified get.
Yeah. Nick brings up Kingsbury. I will say this: at least
Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury. At least he was a college head coach.
But he had gotten fired.
Yeah, he had gotten fired. At least he was a coordinator, had been coordinated. At least he had some experience. And I'll be honest with you, I think he did a fairly decent job. He's better than some of the people.
Had an NFL job. I can't.
I give you that. I give you that. But
I can't get I could understand when Saban got the NFL job. I could understand when Pete Carroll got an NFL job. If somebody wanted to hire, if somebody wanted to hire if somebody wanted to hire Eric Dickerson.
Not Dickerson. Dix. I think the guy he was
Dennis Dixon. Dennis Erickson.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you.
But like, you know, if somebody wanted to hire Kirby right now, like I would understand those. You know what I mean? Cliff Kingsbury never won anything significant at Texas Tech. He had just gotten fired and was about to be the OC at USC before the Cardinals hired him. He did not deserve that job.
There you go. All right. Speaking of opening your mouth and talking crazy, Mad Dog. I can't think from ESPN with the Lamar Jackson slander, saying he doesn't deserve a guaranteed contract.
Does Josh Allen deserve a guaranteed contract? Because if Josh Allen does, Lamar Jackson does, because Lamar Jackson has done more than Josh Allen has done. I mean, how many MVPs does Josh Allen
have? Dog Russo, thank you.
How many MVPs does he have?
I can tell you.
I mean, I'm just saying, like Deshaun Watson got a fully guaranteed contract. That's true. Fully guaranteed, biggest in NFL history. And Lamar Jackson done more than he has. I'm just like, I understand Lamar Jackson isn't the prototypical quarterback that some people are used to seeing, but you can't deny what he's done as a quarterback in this league. Winning MVP, making playoffs almost every year he's been a starting quarterback. Obviously this year he was hurt, but you know, I just feel like he deserves a fully guaranteed contract. I'm not saying he deserves to be the highest paid or whatever the case. You know what I mean? I'm not making that argument. But to say he doesn't deserve the fully guaranteed, I disagree. He deserves fully guaranteed.
You know what I'm saying? They should have paid him last year or gave him the contract last year. So,
and this is Nick says, to be fair, I think Mad Dog is saying that just because Watson got that doesn't mean the Ravens need to be stupid. And I agree. The Browns were stupid for giving Watson that much money fully guaranteed. However, Mad Dog said that Lamar Jackson doesn't need a fully guaranteed deal at all. He didn't say he doesn't need a fully guaranteed deal like Deshaun Watson got. And if that was the case, I would agree. No quarterback deserves 245 or whatever fully guaranteed. I mean, nobody deserves that. But saying that Lamar Jackson doesn't say, I don't know, 5 years, 200 mil, or 4 years, 165, something along them lines. Who say he don't deserve that? But I'm not saying he deserves a 6-year, 249. Nah, I'm not saying that. But you know what I mean? But if you don't want to give him 35 a year for fully guaranteed for 4 years, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I can't disagree. Moving on to basketball. Trouble don't last always. But
or does it?
That's true. Brandon Miller, star freshman basketball player, I guess all around for Alabama, was linked to the shooting and the murder of Miss Jamia Harris. and I hope I'm saying her name right. Basically, this was already known. This no, but it just got leaked out and came out because of the preliminary hearing. But basically, Darius Miles sent a text. This is the biggest thing. He sent the text saying, "Hey, bring me my joint," meaning bring his gun to where he was. They were out, supposedly rode to the strip together. Brandon Miller did not stay. He decided to leave. Didn't go to the club and stuff. Darius Miles and another gentleman went in, got into an altercation, and then Darius Miles says, "Bring me my joint." Brandon Miller returned. Darius Miles went to the car. Brandon Miller's car, retrieved his weapon, and then walked off. Later on, there was
walked off and handed it to
the
other guy that was with him.
Yeah. Later on, there were shots fired. Brandon Miller's car was struck in the shooting, and a young lady, Miss Harris, lost her life. The story is it happened in, I think, January 15th, around that time frame. Darius Miles has been in custody since that time, but this is kind of resurfaced again because it leaked out that Brandon Miller was, and when I say involved, I don't mean in the actual case. He was kind of brought into it just because of the text message and some of the timeline. He was involved in some of the timeline, not necessarily in the incident. I'm gonna get my comments first real quick. I actually just had a lengthy conversation with Renard, Down South Football Podcast, and we were talking about it. And Renard expressed something that that's not being talked about a lot. Everybody's talking about Brandon Miller and this, and whether he should get in trouble and legally, what are the ramifications for him and everything. Not many people are talking about that a young lady lost her life. They're not keeping that perspective. They're talking more about should he be playing basketball, this, that, and the other. That doesn't matter. Young lady lost her life. My condolences to the family. A daughter was lost, a sister was lost, a mother. She had a 5-year-old child. A mother was lost. Senseless violence. And it's alleged the reason why the altercation started was because she has a boyfriend. Darius Miles and the other gentleman tried to holler at her. She wasn't going for it, and they got upset. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but that seems to be the going. At any rate, she is no longer with us for stupid reasons, and people are arguing over whether this man should be playing basketball.
Well, you're right. Like, that's the most important thing, is that we remember that a life was lost in this. However, I think the fact that a young man is playing basketball and the fact of arguing over it kind of matters, because the fact that he's playing basketball kind of downplays the fact that a young lady lost her life and the role that he had in that young lady losing her life. For one, I'm not saying that Brandon Miller is guilty of anything. Let me make that perfectly clear. However, if you read the statement that his attorney made, he was on his way back to the strip to pick up Darius Miles already when Darius Miles texted him and said, "Bringing me my gun." Okay. And the statement that the police said, the text message said, "Bring me my joint," something, that N-word, faking, blah, 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 blah. So basically, you knew that there was a reason why he needed this gun. He didn't just say, "Hey, bring me my gun." You're already en route to him. If you turn the car around and don't bring him that gun, this situation never happens. And so I'm not saying that means he committed a crime by any means. All I'm saying is that there is some accountability for him in this whole situation. The fact that Nate Oates, the basketball coach for Alabama, got in a press conference yesterday and said that Brandon Miller was just at the wrong place at the wrong time is senseless and tasteless, and basically shows a lack of empathy, a lack of remorse, and a lack of condolences toward that young woman who lost her life. It's that, to me, is the most disgusting part of this whole Brandon Miller situation, is the fact that that coach sat up there and basically said, we can't really control what they do. It's unfortunate, but hey, he was just wrong place, wrong time. No, it was the wrong place and the wrong time because he made it the wrong place and the wrong time. So I feel like I'm not trying to take away from your point, because you're perfectly, you're 100% right. The most important part of this is that there's a son or a child who doesn't have their mother right now. That's the most important part. But at the same time, the way this is being handled and kind of minimized by the athletic program, basketball specifically at Alabama, is kind of almost worse than what Brandon Miller did. You know what I'm saying? Like, because y'all are purposely, intentionally covering this up. I'm not gonna say that he intentionally knew that this was gonna happen. Y'all know what y'all are doing. Y'all are 40, 50-year-old grown men, and this is the 19. I'm not trying to excuse him by all, but he's 19. He knows right from wrong though. So I'm not trying to excuse him, but Nate Oates is worse in this situation to me for trying to basically say Brandon Miller did nothing wrong. I'm not saying he committed a crime, but he did something wrong.
Yeah.
He played a part in this. And I feel like the fact that Nate Oates said that they knew about this the entire time and continue to play him like nothing happened is a problem to me. And the fact that Nate Oates knew that he drove over there and provided the gun in a sense, and just, hey, we need to win. You put winning over whether or not this young woman's life is gonna have justice.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the problem. Right. And not that the woman didn't die isn't the important part, but the fact that winning is more important than the fact that a young woman lost her life.
So we just talked about, or you just mentioned, two things can be true. They're not mutually exclusive. So here's why I agree with you. I agree that there was some part of responsibility that Brandon Miller had in this. Where I kind of slightly disagree, and I no matter how I say this, it's going to sound callous. It's going to sound slightly callous. I don't think it's necessarily on him, and it's bad that he's still playing basketball. And here's why I say that. If me and you went somewhere and there was a third party with us, and me and you are just there, we go somewhere and we may not even, this person, with us is, I'm finna split off and go to, we're at a, we just left the LSU game. We're all downtown or something. And we split off from this person. And me and you just walk in, and then we like, hey, let's go back and get Jim Bob. And we walking back, and Jim Bob commits an act, and we're witness to this act. I don't think it's our fault, but here's the difference. I get
that's totally different scenarios.
I get so, and then I know the thing you're gonna say, but he brought the pistol back.
He did,
and he did, and
he stayed and witnessed it and didn't report it either.
No, they say he reported it at the time. The police, he literally interviewed with the police. They said that he literally interviewed with the police then and continued to interview with the police. He said he's always cooperated with the police. Now if the case was he never talked to the police and stuff and never admitted,
so how did the gun get found in the closet of a house, of an apartment or something like that then?
What do you mean? Now that I don't know. As far as how to get.
See what I'm saying? Like there's some involvement that's not being admitted that's going on. And until the investigation is if this is still an ongoing investigation, why is Brandon Miller playing?
He was cleared. If
By
I'm
the
not
police,
mistaken.
did Alabama do their own investigation?
That's a good question. Now I can agree with you. There's a lot of gross negligence in the sense of win a game, but I just don't.
I'm not saying he never needs to play basketball again for Alabama, but y'all knew about this. He has never missed a game ever.
Yeah.
So y'all didn't do any kind of investigation.
What if they did investigate and it was determined? Hear me out. What if they did
investigate? Like they play basketball games every 3 days. So you did investigate a full investigation and enough time for him to never miss a game.
Hear me out. They did say, listen, and I'm not. I don't know, but say they did an investigation. They talked with the police or whatever, or campus police talked with the police, saying precincts or whatever, and it was determined that because his dash cam picked up everything he told them, the dash cam reported back. I mean, and it checked out. So what if they checked out? It was like, hey, he's not lying to us. He's telling us the truth. He didn't know that initially that the gun was in the car, but when he got the call, he was already on his way back. Is it stupid?
Turn around.
Was that a dumb decision and stupid? Yeah, I can agree, but I can't necessarily say because you don't necessarily know. Perfect example. I went to Mardi Gras one year, and I left my car at a friend's house. I literally hey, you coming down? I left my pistol. Can you go by, get it out of my car, and bring it to me?
Did you say I need my joint? An N-word, real life just gotta fake it. Did you say that?
No, I didn't.
That lets you be known that it's a situation, and that's why you need your gun. It's a totally different situation than you just leaving your gun in somebody's car saying, "Hey, bring me my gun." It's what I'm saying. People are leaving out all of the context. It's not just, "Hey, bring me my gun." He knew it was a situation, and that's why he was bringing the gun. And then he stayed after he brought the gun. Like that's what I'm saying.
Again,
like,
was it dumb? Yes.
Did Alabama do an investigation to prove that nothing happened?
That I don't know.
And that's my point. And I know they didn't because there's no way you're doing a full investigation in 3 days. It don't happen. It don't happen, bro. And the fact that like if he wasn't the best freshman in the country right now, would he be playing? That's my question.
No, he probably. I can agree there. So
then he shouldn't be playing.
This is what I think. I think it's 2 parts to this. I think that Alabama is covering up something. And I also think that the DA is also trying to railroad him at the same time.
To railroad him?
Yeah, I think they are trying to throw him in it. I don't think
he should be involved in it. If he was an accessory to a murder, he should be charged.
To an extent. I agree. But I don't know all the facts.
I mean, the gun wasn't on the scene.
Yeah.
The gun got on the scene because of you and was used in the murder. That right there is enough for you to at least go in front of the grand jury to see if you should be indicted for accessory to murder.
All right.
Because for one, you did the act. You might not have the intent, but the act has been done. That's half the battle right there. And now it's up to the court to prove intent, but they don't have to prove the act because you brought them the gun. And the fact that the text message said that there was an incident, it didn't say this in these exact words, but the text message implied that there was an altercation, and that's why they needed the gun, argues to the fact that you knew the intent for needing the gun. So I honestly, bro, I can't say that he shouldn't at least be in front of the grand jury for some sort of aiding and bedding. I mean, it wasn't. Aiding and murder charge, conspiracy. I mean, whatever. I'm not no lawyer, so I don't know what the exact charge should be. But you can't tell me that you helped provide a murder weapon, knowing that there's an altercation involved for whenever you get to where you're going. And when you get to the guy who called you for the weapon, knowing there's a situation where he's at, and then all of a sudden you act like you didn't know why he needed the gun. I mean, I don't see how you could possibly do that, bro. And Pooh Bear is gone. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see y'all tomorrow night for the HBCU hour. Y'all don't want to miss that show tomorrow night. We got a great guest coming in. We have the head coach for the new Talladega women's gymnastics team. So I guess we'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all have a good one.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.
Golden Boot!